Hello, everybody. We are back here with another Top 5 exclusive here on the MacGuffin Podcast. My name is Allen, and I am joined with
Brandi.
Today, in anticipation of the film Let Me In, we are going to be talking about our top 5 remakes. I think we can agree on our general stance on remaking films. But sometimes the remakes actually turn out to be pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not against it, but in general, it seems like why not just make something original? But sometimes it works out great.
Yeah.
So I'll go first.
Okay.
My number 5 is an old film. It's from 1944, and it is called Gaslight. Stars Ingrid Bergman, Joseph Cotten, Angela Lansbury, a bunch of great people, and it was a remake of film that was made in the UK only about 4 years earlier. So kind of a similar situation to what's going on with Let Me In right now. Very quick turnaround for the remake. It's kind of a weird movie. It's the one where Ingrid Bergman is like, is she slowly going mad or is she not slowly going mad? Is someone trying to make her think that she's just slowly going mad? And it's great performance from her. I mean, you like Ingrid Bergman,
Oh,
right?
I love Ingrid Bergman. I mean, I haven't seen this film, but I'll definitely check it out.
You should.
Yeah.
It's really nuanced performance from her. Just, yeah, it's a good movie.
Okay, and I mean Joseph Cotten too.
Joseph
great,
Cotten.
So.
Joseph Cotten, people should know who he is more. Like, people should know who he is, like Cary Grant and Jimmy Stewart. Like, I don't understand. He's so great.
He is. All right, so moving on to my number 5. My number 5 is a film called The Fly, directed by David Cronenberg, from the 1958 film of the same name. I actually saw this for the first time just recently, and I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. I'm kind of hot and cold on Jeff Goldblum. He always seems to act and talk and just look like borderline creepy, which is probably why he did so well in this movie. I mean, yeah, he stars as Seth Brundle, this scientist who discovers a way to transport matter, so he decides to jump into the machine himself. Unknowingly, a fly goes right in there with him, and all of a sudden he starts.
It sounds so silly, but it is one of the creepiest and grossest movies I've ever seen.
Yes, it is. I mean, he starts sprouting hair all over the place. His skin starts to fall off. By the end of the film, where he makes his complete transition, I'm actually surprised that I care so much about this pile of flesh like on the ground.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Nasty, but it's a great film.
Yes, it is.
All right, my number 4. This is one where I have so much love for the remake, and I don't even know why. I don't know why, but if it's on, I will watch it, and that is Parent Trap from 1998, starring Lindsay Lohan herself. From Nancy Meyers directed it. I mean, the original was one of my favorites as a kid. Oh, Haley Mills, let's get together action, and I just really like the remake. It is like one of those happy movies for me. Like, if I just am in a bad mood, the movie will make me happy.
I've never seen this film. I've heard a lot about it. Lindsay Lohan making you feel happy. Hey, all right. I mean, the rest of her career would prove otherwise, but I don't know.
It's just a cute movie. I just like it.
All right. I mean, that's good. That's convincing. My number 4 film is actually an old Japanese film directed by one of the lost masters, I think, Yasujiro Ozu.
I hear a lot about Ozu.
And the film is
Renaissance.
Floating Weeds,
I've not seen
which is a remake of his own silent film, A Story of Floating Weeds. The story is pretty much about a troupe of traveling players that arrive at a seaport, and the master of the travelers goes to visit his former lover and his son, but his son thinks that he is actually his uncle, right? And the whole story is about his son, right, is told that he is his uncle,
not his father.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole story is about taking the basic Japanese family structure and breaking it down. It's acted great. It's directed great. Visually, this is one of the most visual films I've ever seen. And Ozu does it without even moving his camera. The camera is set in one place. It never pans, never tilts. The composition of all the shots is incredible. Like every shot is memorable. Yes, you should definitely check it out. It's an incredible film. So.
Okay, I will. All right. Well, my number 3 was going to be The Fly. So I will say that though you got to single out the remake for Love. I really like the original too,
I haven't
from
seen
1958. It's a little bit, over the top cheesy. He's got Vincent Price in it and everything, but it does have one of the creepiest final scenes ever with the little fly with a man's head on it in the web, and it works. Okay, it works. Right. Anyway, the remake's great.
All right. Okay. So let's move on to my number 3. My number 3 is a little bit of a controversial pick, and it's directed by Martin Scorsese, and it's The Departed, which is a remake of Infernal Affairs. Now, before you say anything, let me just say this. A lot of people say that Scorsese winning the Oscar for The Departed is like a career Oscar. In some ways I kind of agree, but in other ways I don't. Is it as good as Raging Bull? No. Is it as good as Goodfellas? Not by a long shot. But if you compare it to the films that came out that year, I think The Departed is just as good. If you compare it to the films that it was nominated with for Best Picture, the only two that come anywhere near it is Babel and
I don't like Babel.
and Letters from Iwo Jima. So if you take it like that, I think it still stands as a very, very good film.
I'm not a fan. Yeah, I like the original better. I don't know. And I think the best movie of that year was actually After the Wedding, which was one of the foreign film nominations.
But it wasn't nominated.
It could have been.
It could have been. I mean, Children of Men could have been nominated that year too.
Children of Men.
But it didn't, so that's a different topic. So.
Your love for The Departed is curious, but anyway. My number 2 is another old one. It was actually the third version of a novel that had come out, and that is from 1941, and that is The Maltese Falcon. From John Hewson, one of the great directors of old Hollywood, did a number of amazing films. And, this is the one that really made Humphrey Bogart into Humphrey Bogart, and it's just, it's one of those great mystery films.
As much as I wanted to love that movie, I couldn't.
Really?
I think it might border into overrated for me. I mean, the entire film is nothing but dialogue. I think
amazing dialogue.
It's okay dialogue, but a lot of the times, the thing with me is film is a show me medium instead of a tell me medium. Everything that happens in The Maltese Falcon is told afterwards. I mean, the plot itself is confusing.
It's a noir.
Yeah,
that's what noir is. That's how a lot of them are structured.
I mean, there's plenty of noirs where there's action instead of just dialogue. It's always like, oh, here's a twist that I'm just going to tell you now.
It's about the atmosphere.
I guess, but for me, The Maltese Falcon, it just didn't live up to the expectations that I had for it.
Whatever. Fine.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. My number 2 is another film that I just recently watched, and it is John Carpenter's The Thing,
that's a great
which
one.
is a remake of the 1951 film of the film called The Thing.
And you
from
watched
Another World. This
because I told you to watch it, right?
Yes, in a previous top 5 you mentioned to watch it, and I actually watched it, and I enjoyed it. I mean, it's a great horror film. I mean, freaking Kurt Russell is mad good in it. I mean, you could say the parallels to another horror film called Alien, but I think it stands to be its own. Speaking of,
I mean, a bunch of people caught with a thing that wants to kill them isn't like the most original.
True.
It's about execution, and the execution of that one is perfect.
And I mean, when you talk about like gross films, I think The Thing tops it. I mean, the special effects in that movie, even though it's like almost over 20 years old or whatever, it's the special effects like still grosses me out. And I just watched it like not too long ago. I mean, you have like some dude's head, and then all of a sudden like freaking insect arms come out of it, and like his face melts off or whatever. It's great. It's crazy. So
it's great. All right. Well, my number 1 is one of my favorite movies of all time. I've seen it like a trillion times. Every time it's on, I watch it. And it is actually a remake of a French film. I don't know if a lot of people know that, and that is True Lies.
Oh,
True
yes.
Lies is a remake of a French comedy that you can't find anywhere, I guess. I've tried to watch it. I don't even think they have it here. I think I tried to look it up. But dang, I love True Lies.
True Lies, you gotta love True Lies.
I just love it. I mean,
It's so over the top, but done so
it's
well.
so funny. I just
mean-
like everybody that's in it.
I think it ranks up there with James
Yeah,
Cameron's
probably
best work. It's probably one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's best work, Jamie Lee Curtis's best work. I mean, it's so funny. The action's so good. Tom Arnold is surprisingly incredible in that movie.
I love Tom Arnold.
So good. Yeah, that's a great movie. Great movie.
Yeah.
My number one pick for best remakes ever made is another controversial film. It is a remake directed by Brian De Palma, featuring Al Pacino, and it is called Scarface,
Oh.
which is remade from the Howard Hawks film of the same name.
Okay.
Say what you want about it being over the top and
Dudes love
ultra
Scarface.
violent and whatever. I think it completely works for this film. I think Al Pacino is great in this movie. It has some negative criticisms, especially with its love from, say, the hip-hop or gangster world or whatever you want to say. But if you look at it, not regarding that, I still think it's an incredibly well-made movie. So, did you have anything you wanted to say about it?
I've never seen it.
What? You've never seen Scarface? Oh my God! Where's the gangster section? Because we need to get you that movie right now. Holy crap! Have you seen the original?
Spencer is agog right now.
I'm agog. Holy crap! That is one of
You
one of
guys
the
are so
quintessential
shocked.
80s movies. It's one of the quintessential gangster movies of all time.
I'm sorry.
It's just, oh, Brandi. Oh, it hurts.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
let's just
sorry.
move on.
No, we don't have anything to move on to.
Oh,
That
we don't
was
have
that.
anything to move on to. I'm more like, yeah,
right.
I'm speechless.
Well, thanks for watching another Top 5 here on MacGuffinPodcast.com. And let us know what you think are the best or the worst remakes of all time, if you'd like to. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.